Welcome back to day 7 of the Australian Open 2020. In this video I'll be previewing the last 4 round of 16 matches that will take place tonight on the women's side of the draw. Yesterday I did actually predict 4 to 4 winners, surprisingly on the women's draw, so hopefully same again tonight for me. The first match I'm going to look at is Mertens Bertens is up against the Romanian Simona Halep. You've got to say Mertens is probably serving as well as anyone on the women's tour in this tournament. She had 12 aces in a round 3 match, also hitting 38 winners, which just shows she's striking the ball so well on both wings. She's very confident in her A game. She's improved drastically over the last 18 months in my opinion. Suits these hard courts. And she's sort of gone under the radar last tournament. I think she's played some of the best tennis on the women's side of the draw without really being mentioned. But tonight is a huge test for her. Obviously Halep, we know how good her defence is. I think she's the best defensive player on the women's tour, her and Angelique Kerber. But I would favour Halep in this match because of her defensive work. These slow courts seem to be really suiting her in Melbourne this week. Obviously a defensive player likes to counter punch, and the slow courts are just allowing her an extra second on the ball. We know how good her defence is on any court really, but she's going to force Mertens into pin a lot of shots that she didn't have to play in a round 3 match. Facing Halep's defence is something that's very hard to overcome, can lead to frustration. If Mertens was to miss easy balls, which is very possible against Halep, she does get everything back in court. She really forces her to work hard to win every single point against her. Halep has yet to actually drop a set in this tournament. She doesn't take a huge amount of risk because she doesn't have to. She's not an aggressive sort of player where she charges into the net and puts it away. She doesn't really bully you from the back of the court, but she makes very few unforced errors. And as I say, she really tires you out. It's very difficult to even win a point against Halep with the defensive style. I think Halep's great to watch really. I think her court coverage, her speed and the fighting heart that she shows out on court, she does really leave everything out on court every time she steps on it. She's a brilliant advocate for our sport. I can see Halep reaching the final, to be honest. I can see her going all the way. I think it's between her and Ashley Barty now for me, now that Osaka and Williams have dropped out the draw. But I just feel in this match, I think Mertens might have peaked a little bit too early. She's not always the most consistent player, and hitting 38 winners the other day is very impressive. If she strikes the ball like she did the night, then there's no reason why she can't win this one. But I just think Halep's defensive work is very consistent. She's done it for years and years now. Obviously a Grand Slam champion, so that experience is helping her, and I think she'll force mistakes out of Mertens and win this one. Could go to 3 sets, but as I say, in the business end of sets, Halep seems to be very good mentally now, very strong, and I do see her coming out on top in this one and progressing into the quarter-final stages. Next up is Igor Swiatek against Kontaveit. Kontaveit having a sort of crazy tournament. She's lost just 1 set, but she's winning sets like 6-love, 6-1, 6-2. And I believe she would have a very hard match against Belinda Bencic the other day of Switzerland, who would start the tournament very, very well. Kontaveit breezed through that match 6-love, 6-1, and she honestly barely made an error. Like, she barely put her foot wrong at all in the match and didn't let Bencic settle. Similar to Mertens, has she peaked too early? Can you produce a performance like that again? Probably not. She doesn't serve brilliantly, I don't feel. The first serve is decent. She constructs points so much. She's very clever with the first serve, but she doesn't serve a lot of aces. And with the format Swiatek is in, I can see a lot of breaks in this match, and I don't think any of them have particularly the best serves on tour. But that sets it up for a brilliant match because of the ground strokes, the court coverage, the variations of both players is outstanding. And the thing about Kontaveit, she's very aggressive with the second shot in the rally. She likes to take initiative of a rally early, and she really goes for a shot. You can see she really believes in herself and really fancies herself to beat anybody in the world, particularly on hard courts. Swiatek for me is a very, very special talent. She's only 18, the young Pole. Yeah, she beat Donna Vekic. I actually watched Vekic in the second round, and I was very taken by her performance. And I watched that match, Swiatek and Vekic, thinking it was going to be very close. But Swiatek just breezed through Vekic, hitting 29 winners and making just 6 unforced errors, I believe. and that is some feat against Donovekic, who was, I would say, as a start of the tournament, very, very well. Swiatek's also beat Babos and Suarez Navarro, two great wins. People forget how young she is, just 18 years old. She often goes under the radar, I feel. Not many people talk about Swiatek going on to win Grand Slams, and without putting too much pressure on her, I'd be amazed if in the future she didn't pick up a number of Grand Slams. She has an absolutely huge game, really. She can attack on both wings. She has a lot of success at the net, and I am tipping her to win this one. As I say, Kontaveit, I just feel like she might have peaked a little bit too early in this tournament, and I think Swiatek is a little bit more consistent. She's beat better opponents, I feel, in the opening rounds, but it really is a toss-up, to be honest. I was struggling to pick a winner in this one. I just feel like Swiatek, she seems like a good front runner. I think she starts well, times the ball from the offs and strikes it cleanly with authority and control. I think she makes less errors than Kontaveit in this one. And although I think they'll go to 3 sets, it's down to particularly who serves well, who wins them tie breaks if we see tie breaks, or who can secure breaks at the end of sets, who can take the break point opportunities, and that's it really. It's just whoever takes the chances wins this one. I found it very, very difficult to split them, but I do edge towards Swiatek in 3 sets, and I think the 18-year-old will move on to the quarter-final stages. Next up is Garbine Muguruza against Kiki Bertens of Holland. Garbine Muguruza just looks back to her best. People sort of forget, and it's weird to think that she is a 2 Grand Slam champion. I mean, she forgot how to play tennis for 2 years. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I know she had problems with the coaches and a couple of niggling injuries, but she really did just go completely off the radar, dropping out to a very, very low ranking in them 2 years. But this year she just seems to be back to her best. It's like she's never been away. Didn't have that dipping form at all. It is great to see her back like this. When she won Wimbledon, she looked a few years ago, she looked very, very strong, like she was going to go on and dominate the women's game for a few years, but that wasn't to be the case. I don't know whether that played a part in her downfall, the pressure that was put on her to really become world number one and win a number of Grand Slams. But she's back to her best now, and it's great to have her back on tour. I think she's one of the best to watch on the women's tour. And her last match against Svitolina was a real breakthrough for her, I feel. I think she needed a confidence boost and win over a top 10 player to really kickstart the career this 2020, and just come out and say, I'm back, I'm a champion, and I'm back to win tournaments again. And that Svitolina, I think, was a real statement performance. She had 31 winners in that match and just 9 unforced errors, which are great stats. And Svitolina couldn't really live with her. She never really got into the match. Muguruza came into the net a lot, 88% of net player points won, which is so she can beat you from the back of the court or at the net. She's obviously got a very, very strong serve, which sets up points well for her, and she's got a great fighter's attitude, similar to her compatriot Rafael Nadal. On to Kiki Bertens, these courts are suiting her. She's yet to drop a set this week. She had 35 winners in round 3, which is a lot for Kiki Bertens. I don't always judge Bertens as the most aggressive players, but hitting 35 winners in round 3 proves that wrong. This is going to be an incredible match. I think this will be match of the night, to be honest, on the women's side of the draw. They're going to be very, very difficult to split. Both players are striking the ball incredibly well. Both got massive belief in themselves. Obviously made big runs to slams before. Muguruza being successful twice, that might play a part if the match was to go deep. Both confident in the games. Net play will prove pivotal, as both are strong. Who can get in the net more, who can dictate the early stages of the match, and get into the net and really stamp their authority on the match early. I think the big difference in this match, and the reason I'm going to tip towards Muguruza, is her serve. I think her serve is a lot stronger, a lot more consistent than Bertens. And if she can produce that tonight, then I do think I might tip her in her favour. Also, I just believe Muguruza hits a heavier ball on forehand and backhand. I know Bertens is maybe got more variation to her game. She likes to slice. As I say, she attacks the net very well, and it really could go either way. But just for the fact that I think Muguruza hits a heavier ball, and she's won 2 Grand Slams, gives that bit of mental stability and confidence, I suppose. And there's a lot more pressure on Bertens from herself, probably, because she's never won a Grand Slam yet. She'll be desperate to break that maiden tag in Melbourne this week. But it's another one. I found every single match tonight in the women's side of the draw difficult to split, and this was another one. I'm edging towards Muguruza, probably in 3 sets, but if Bertens was to beat Muguruza, I wouldn't at all be surprised, because she has had an outstanding start in Melbourne. But I'm going to tip Muguruza to win that one. And lastly, Kerber against Pavlyuchenkova, another outstanding match. This will be very difficult to split again. Kerber, obviously similar to Halep, a counter puncher. She's one of the best defensive players in the world, probably second to Halep for me. The court is suiting her, playing slow. She hasn't hit a great amount of winners this tournament, but that's not her style of play really on a hard court. She's more aggressive on grass. Obviously was Wimbledon champion in the past, but she's not suited really by hitting winners. She likes to defend, she likes to be on the run. Obviously got a great lefty serve, very hard to read, a forehand's hard to read, and I think that might present difficulties for Pavlyuchenkova to settle into the match. The defensive work does force errors out of opponents. She's got that Grand Slam winning experience, which obviously Pavlyuchenkova hasn't got, and I think that might play a big part. I think I'm expecting sets to go close in this one, 5-5, tie breaks, etc. And I think experience will tell, and Kerber brings bags of experience, winning close finals, winning big matches in semi-finals and quarter-finals, and Pavlyuchenkova has never really experienced winning career-defining matches yet, but this could be a time. Amazingly, Pavlyuchenkova actually hit 50 plus winners against Pliskova, which is just a mad stat really in a 2-set match. I do feel that was a good matchup for Pavlyuchenkova stylistically. They both played similar matches, both very aggressive, and it was just a question of who timed the ball better on that one, who found more lines, and thankfully for Pavlyuchenkova it was her that did it on the day. On another day it could have been Pliskova, but Pavlyuchenkova, fair play to her, she hit the ball extremely well in that match. She took the match to Pliskova and bullied her really from the back of the court. Very, very impressive. Although Kerber is a lot better defensively than Pliskova, Pliskova is not a defensive player. She's very tall. She doesn't get around the court particularly quickly, but Kerber's court coverage is exceptional. She's a brilliant defensive player, and it'll put Pavlyuchenkova under massive pressure. She has to hit a lot of clean winners tonight, which is very difficult to do against Kerber. And submitting another couple of players, can Pavlyuchenkova repeat that performance? I mean, hitting 50 plus winners in a two-set match is how many times are you going to do that in a season? Not many. And to do that against Kerber will take an immense performance. And I just feel like Kerber's big match experience will see her through this one. It's the first one that I have got quite a strong opinion on in terms of who will win it. I think Kerber will win this one in straight sets. As I say, I just think it's not a good matchup for Pavlyuchenkova, particularly on the slow court, and the fact that she hasn't got that Grand Slam winning experience and even reaching semi-finals like Kerber has. I think will play a big part, and I expect Kerber to win this one in straight sets and progress to the quarter-final. So that's all for previewing them matches. I'll be back tomorrow to review them matches, review the last 16 men's matches, and start previewing the quarter-finals. Thanks for watching again. Please like and subscribe, and enjoy the tennis tonight.